press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
So, well, dear students, so today we shall understand certain basic aspects of thermal properties of matter. So, I am Manjunath. I have been teaching physics from past 25 years. So, today I am very happy to take up this very interesting and one of the basic branches of physics, thermal physics. Well, dear students, already in your lower secondary classes, you have come across the concept of heat and temperature. See, here at this stage, there is a slight elaboration on what you have learned so far. Okay. See, before entering into the details of this chapter, I would like to ask you, what do you mean by heat? Let us understand what is heat. The term heat refers to form of energy which produces in us the sensation of warmth, or in general it is the form of energy which flows from hotter body to the colder body. More scientifically, so heat is the form of energy which exchanges between system and its surroundings or between any two systems when there is a difference in temperature. Okay. See, therefore, more specifically we can define heat as the form of energy which exchanges between any two systems or between system and its surroundings when there is a difference in temperature. See, dear students, you must realize the fact that heat is not a static energy, it is the energy in transit, it is the energy which flows. Okay. See, then a basic question which enters your mind is, what is the source for this heat energy? How we can understand this heat energy, right? See, long back in 17th century, European scientists tried a lot to make us to understand what actually is heat. See, they developed their own theory to explain what is heat. The first such theory is called caloric theory. Caloric theory. See, according to this theory, physicists were believed that there is an invisible weightless fluid called caloric. Caloric fluid is present in all substances. When that fluid is being extracted from the substance, cooling effect is observed, or if that caloric fluid is added onto the substance, heating effect is observed. So, that was their belief. Okay. So, if caloric fluid is added to the substance, it tends to heat up. If it is being taken out from the system or taken out from the substance, it tends to cool down. See, that was their conclusion. But the difficulty associated with this theory is that since it is invisible, it was not being experimentally detected. Okay. And secondly, you know that during friction also heat is produced. Then how can you relate caloric theory for heat produced due to friction? Or if you take a metal wire, when you go on bending the wire now and then, you will find that heat is being produced. at the region where the wire is getting continuously bent, heat is absorbed, it gets warmth. Or if a metal plate is hit by a hammer, plate got warmed, then you are not adding any fluid into it, you are doing some mechanical work. Then how can you extend this caloric theory for such cases? Okay, see, that was a serious drawback, and which leads to discarding of this theory. And it was Count Rumford in 1798 put forward another theory called mechanical theory. Mechanical theory. So, according to this theory, the external work done on a system, on a substance or a body is the main reason of generation of heat. Okay. So, therefore, work done is directly proportional to heat produced. See, this was being supported later by Joule and others. And Joule made a serious investigation and he came to conclusion that work done is directly proportional to heat produced and W is equal to J into Q, where J is called Joule's constant, or it is also called mechanical equivalent of heat. J is called mechanical equivalent of heat. Or it is also called Joule's constant. See, from this relation you can write J is equal to W by Q. See, therefore, the ratio of work done to heat produced is always a constant, and this constant is called Joule's constant or mechanical equivalent of heat. Okay. See, this is experimentally found to be, see, J value is found to be 4186 Joule per calorie. Joule per calorie. Or roughly 4200 Joule per calorie. So, a very important relation that we are going to make use of in solving certain problems. Okay. So, this is second important theory related to heat. And the modern approach here is, see, third one is modern theory. See, in modern theory, see, actually this theory was evolved in 20th century. So, you know that all substances are made of atoms and molecules. And so these atoms and molecules, they are not static. So, they are having some sort of motion. Okay. So, though it is microscopic, the motion is still present. It may be a translational motion or rotational motion or vibrational motion. See, it is the translational kinetic energy or rotational kinetic energy or vibrational kinetic energy which is responsible for this heat. So, therefore, heat is due to accumulation of all these types of energies. See, therefore, understanding the heat is not so simple, it is so complex. See, if you take a gases, it is due to, see, the molecules are moving randomly in all directions, they are colliding against each other, they are colliding against the walls of the container, and heat is being generated. See, therefore, their kinetic energy, translational kinetic energy of the molecules is responsible for production of heat. If you take a solids, the molecules are not having any freedom, they are fixed to their position. So, therefore, say they are having certain vibrations, so the certain oscillations, we call it as thermal vibration. It is this vibration which is responsible for warmth condition of the body, or heat is being generated by the body. Have you got my point? See, this is how we can visualize theoretically what is heat. Okay. Experimentally you cannot see that, See, but today we have a technology using a infrared detectors. Using heat radiation, we can detect a body, right? See, that technology is developed today. See, but in those days, see, we try to understand what is heat through these three theories: caloric theory, mechanical theory, and then modern theory. Okay. See, this is for sake of interest. I have explained all this because such questions always enter your mind. What actually is heat? How we can understand what is heat? And you know that the SI unit of heat is joule. SI unit of heat is joule. It is indicated by the symbol J. Don't confuse J with mechanical equivalent of heat. Okay, J. The both are J, but here joule is the SI unit of heat, and the heat is a scalar quantity. It has no direction, it has only magnitude. It's a form of energy, Therefore, all energies are represented by same unit. It has the same dimensional formula, m L power 2 T power minus 2. This is the dimensions of heat. And in CGS, this is in SI we have this unit. If you take CGS, in CGS system, it is expressed in terms of calorie. Calorie. It is indicated by the symbol CAL. What is calorie? Calorie is the amount of heat required to rise the temperature of 1 gram of the substance from 14.5 degrees Celsius to 15.5 degrees Celsius. Amount of heat required is the temperature of 1 gram of water. If you take from 14.5 degrees Celsius to 15.5 degrees Celsius, that means through 1 degree rise in temperature, the amount of heat you require is called 1 calorie. Calorie is the amount of heat required to rise the temperature of 1 gram of water through 1 degree Celsius. Here 1 degree refers to a particular range of temperature, 14.5 degrees Celsius to 15.5 degrees Celsius. That is taken to be calorie. And calorie and joule are related to each other. 1 calorie is equal to 4.186 joule. Calorie is a bigger unit. Okay. I hope you have come across the term calorie because say here in biology also, when you take a food, every food item is being characterized by its calorific value. How much energy you will get by taking that food, right? See, there also we make use of the term calorie, right? All right. So let us understand what is meant by temperature. Another important term here is temperature. So temperature is the measure of hotness or coldness of the body. Our degree of hotness or coldness of the body is generally called temperature. See, temperature is the thermal condition of the body which decides the direction of heat flow. Okay. Temperature, how we can define temperature? Temperature is the thermal condition of the body which decides the direction of heat flow. Suppose if the body is at higher temperature, another body is at lower temperature, then heat flows from body A to body B. So we have two bodies, A and B. Say this is at 70 degrees Celsius, this is at 60 degrees Celsius. Then what is the direction of heat flow? Heat flows from body A to body B. See, therefore, temperature is the thermal condition of the body which decides the direction of heat flow. See, according to kinetic theory, see, we define temperature as the average kinetic energy of all molecules of the substance. It is the average kinetic energy of all molecules constituting the substance or constituting the system is called as temperature. So in fact, temperature is being clearly defined in first law of thermodynamics that you are going to understand in the next chapter. Actually, we define what is the temperature in 0th law of thermodynamics that you will understand in the next chapter. Okay. And remember one thing, there is a general statement between a relation between heat and temperature. We generally say that heat is the cause and temperature is the effect. Without temperature different, heat never flows. See, therefore we generally say that heat is the cause and temperature is the effect. So due to flow of heat to the body, the temperature rises. See, therefore heat is the cause, rise in temperature is effect. Or heat is being extracted from the substance, right? Heat is being extracted from the substance. As a result, temperature of the substance decreases. See, therefore heat is the cause, decrease in temperature is the effect. See, that's how they are related to each other. Alright. And heat is also, just like heat, temperature is also a scalar quantity, and SI unit of temperature is Kelvin. SI unit is Kelvin, indicated by K. Have you got it? Right. We shall understand what is the significance of Kelvin later. Okay. So now at this stage we have understood two important terms. One is heat, another one temperature. Heat is the form of energy which exchanges between two systems or between system and its surroundings due to difference in temperature. That's one thing. Heat is the energy in transit. Heat is now the static energy. And temperature is the thermal condition of the body which decides the direction of heat flow. According to kinetic theory, heat is due to, temperature may be generally defined as, it is the average kinetic energy of all molecules constituting the system. See that represented by temperature, or which taken to be the temperature, right? The average kinetic energy of all molecules constituting the system is taken to be as a temperature. So that's how we can interpret what is temperature. See, this is generally called as kinetic interpretation of temperature, that you will be understanding in the third chapter in heat, kinetic theory of gases. Okay. So let us understand how we can measure temperature. What are the different techniques involved in the measurement of temperature? So the science of measurement of temperature is called as thermometry. Thermometry. The term thermo refers to temperature, metron means measurement. See, therefore here in thermometry we explain different techniques involved in the measurement of temperature. So generally the device which is used to measure temperature is called as thermometer. Thermometer is the device which is used to measure temperature. See, there are different types of thermometers. See, depending on our requirement, we are making use of different varieties of thermometer. Types of thermometers. We have liquid thermometers. Gas thermometers. Platinum resistance thermometer. And thermoelectric thermometers. And we have total radiation pyrometer. See, there are different types of thermometer. I have mentioned important types. Liquid thermometers, here we have either mercury thermometer or alcohol thermometer. Okay, there are two types. If you are making use of mercury inside the thermometer, it is called mercury thermometer. Otherwise, if you make use of alcohol, it is alcohol thermometer. We have gas thermometers, platinum resistance thermometers, thermoelectric thermometer, total radiation pyrometer. So, liquid thermometer, as I told you, see, it will be a liquid thermometer like mercury thermometer. This is already you have seen in the laboratory. See, here is the mercury present in the bulb. When if you dip in a liquid, or if you keep this bulb in contact with the substance whose temperature has to be measured, mercury level gradually rises, and there is a scale attached to this, and using the scale you can record the temperature. See, this is a mercury thermometer or liquid in glass thermometer. All right. The disadvantage of this liquid in gas thermometer is that the expansion of liquids are not same for all different ranges of temperature. For example, if you take mercury, expansion of mercury is different from expansion of alcohol. Only for lower fixed point and upper fixed point they show the same reading, but for other temperatures their expansions are different. Therefore, you will never get the actual temperature. See, that is the drawback of liquid thermometer. I mean to say, the expansion of liquids is not same in all cases. It differs from one liquid to another liquid. But gas thermometer, in case of a gas thermometer, the expansion of all gases for a particular range, low density gases, for a particular range of temperature is always same. Therefore, the gas thermometers gives much more accurate results. See here, constant pressure thermometers, constant volume thermometer. There are two types of thermometers. Platinum resistance thermometer. See, in this thermometer, the resistance, electrical resistance of a platinum wire changes with the change in temperature. See, therefore, by seeing the change in resistance, you can determine what is the temperatures. So, you can measure very high temperatures with the help of platinum resistance thermometer. That you will understand when you come to second PU. Thermoelectric thermometers. Say here, it is consisting of a junction of dissimilar metals. We call it as a thermocouple, which can detect very small change in temperature. Okay, very small change in temperature. That is the advantage of thermoelectric thermometer. Total radiation pyrometer. Pyro means very high temperature. You can measure temperature of a furnace, or you can determine temperature of a surface temperature of a distant stars with the help of total radiation pyrometer. See, today we have got recent technology, liquid crystal display. See here, using infrared radiations we can detect the temperature. Because of COVID, pandemic, everywhere, wherever you go to the shop or somewhere else or bank, the watchman or the guard will check your temperature by a detector, just like a gun. See, it will detect the heat radiation coming out from our body, and based on the heat radiation, it displays our body temperature. It shows a display on the screen. See, they are called infrared detectors. So, it is also a device used to measure temperature. Nowadays, if you visit a doctor will never put mercury thermometer inside your mouth. Instead, he just put a strip on your forehead that will record your temperature, or using infrared detectors, he will record the temperature. See, to that extent, we have improved our technology in the measurement of temperature. Have you got it? See, this is how there are varied types of thermometers which are being employed for different purposes. You cannot use liquid thermometer for all cases. If you take mercury for example, mercury can measure temperature from minus 37 degrees Celsius to 357 degrees Celsius. After 357 degrees Celsius, mercury evaporates. So you cannot record temperature. Therefore, maximum range of mercury is minus 37 to 357. Okay. So to that extent, mercury thermometer is limited. See, likewise, every thermometer has got a particular range. That's why we have got different varieties of thermometers which are being based on unique principle for measuring temperature. Okay. See, that's why the science of measurement of temperature is called thermometry. There are various techniques are involved which are being employed to measure temperature exactly. Okay. Physics is called exact science because we always demand accuracy and precision in our measurement. Right? See, that's why we have developed different types of thermometers for measuring temperature. Now let us understand what are the different scales used to express temperature. Okay. All right. Scales of temperatures. Scales of temperature. Already you have come across the most popular scale as Celsius scale. Celsius scale. Celsius scale. It is expressed in terms of degree Celsius. Symbol is this. And we have Fahrenheit scale. Fahrenheit scale. It is expressed in degree Fahrenheit. We have scientifically adopted Kelvin scale. Kelvin scale. It is represented by K, just K, capital K. And we have Reaumur scale. Reaumur scale. See, this is degree Reaumur. This is French system of measurement. Reaumur, French physicist who introduced this, and see, this is called Reaumur scale. We have Rankine scale. See, there are varieties of scales are being employed for expressing temperature. One scale of temperature can be converted into another scale. Okay, one scale can be converted into another scale. See here, for expressing the temperature, we have taken two fixed points. One is called upper fixed point, another one lower fixed point. Lower fixed point. Lower fixed point. I indicate this by LFP, and this is taken to be melting point of ice. Upper fixed point. Upper fixed point. UFP, and this is equal to boiling point of water. Boiling point of water. See here, you must remember melting point of ice at the atmospheric pressure, boiling point of water at atmospheric pressure. Okay. What is melting point of ice? Ice melts at 0 degree Celsius. In Celsius scale, it's 0 degree Celsius. What is the boiling point of water? In Celsius scale, it is 100 degree Celsius at sea level. Okay. At atmospheric pressure means at sea level, it is 100 degree Celsius. Water boils exactly at 100 degree Celsius. So therefore, based on that, we have different scales. Let us understand how we can change one scale of temperature to another scale. temperature on one scale minus lower fixed point, upper fixed point minus lower fixed point. This is scale 1. This is equal to temperature on the scale minus lower fixed point divided by upper fixed point minus lower fixed point. This is scale 2. Okay. So based on that, let us write down how all these scales are related to each other. So if I take Celsius scale, temperature on Celsius scale, I indicate this by Tc. What is the lower fixed point? Lower fixed point, melting point of ice is 0 divided by boiling point is 100 minus 0. This is related to Celsius scale. If you come to Fahrenheit scale, in Fahrenheit scale, I indicate this by Tf. Lower fixed point is 32 degree Fahrenheit, right? 32 degree Fahrenheit, and upper fixed point is 212 degree Fahrenheit. According to Fahrenheit scale, water boils at 212 degree. So therefore, between upper fixed point and lower fixed point, there are 180 divisions are there. So here between them, there are 100 divisions. Here between lower fixed point and upper fixed point, how much difference? 180 difference is there. This is related to Fahrenheit scale. And when you come to Kelvin scale, I indicate this by Tk. Here lower fixed point is 273.15 Kelvin and upper fixed point is 373.15 Kelvin minus 273.15 Kelvin. This is related to Kelvin scale. And when you come to Reaumur scale, we have TR minus 0 degree Reaumur scale. We have another scale called Rankine scale. I will come to that later, which is not frequently used. Reaumur scale, TR minus 0 and upper fixed point is 80 degree minus 0. See, this is how the scales are related to each other. So based on upper fixed point and lower fixed point, we can equate the scale like this. So using this relation, you can convert temperature in one scale to temperature in another scale. Have you got my point? So we can easily convert temperature in one scale to temperature in another scale. Have you understood? See, therefore, temperature is expressed in different scales. There are 5 different scales are there: Celsius scale, Fahrenheit scale, Kelvin scale, Reaumur scale, Rankine scale. Rankine is not being frequently used. And here, while expressing the scale, we have taken 2 fixed points. Lower fixed point is taken as melting point of ice, which is equal to 0 degree Celsius or 32 degree Fahrenheit or 273.15 Kelvin or 0 degree Reaumur. And upper fixed point is boiling point of water. Boiling point of water is 100 degree Celsius or it is 212 degree Fahrenheit or 373.15 Kelvin or 80 degree Reaumur. They are upper fixed point. And these 2 fixed points are taken at atmospheric pressure at sea level. Okay. See, based on that, we can convert one scale of temperature to another scale. Okay, let us take an example so that you can easily understand how we can convert one scale of temperature to another scale. Express (35°C) in Fahrenheit. In Fahrenheit scale. Okay. Now let us take the relation Tc minus 0, 100 minus 0. This is in Celsius, which is equal to Tf minus 32, 212 minus 32. This is in Fahrenheit. Here what is Tc given? 35. Here Tc is equal to 35°C. So therefore 35 divided by 100 is equal to Tf minus 32 divided by 180. Okay. Now you just simplify this. So you are going to get 9 by 5. You take to this side 35, 100 into 180 is equal to Tf minus 32. When you simplify this, so you are going to get 5 by 2, 7 by 2 into 18 . 3.5 into 18 is equal to Tf minus 32. Tf minus 32. See, therefore Tf is equal to, so you are, when you add them, you are going to get 95 degree Fahrenheit. You please check it up. 180, 9 by 5, (35) into 9 by 5, 35, 35, 63, ಸರಿ ಇದೆ, 95 degree Fahrenheit. So let us understand at what temperature degree Celsius and Fahrenheit coincides with each other. So at what particular temperature both of them show same reading. Okay. Say if I want to show you graphically how degree Celsius and Fahrenheit are related, if you take this scale as temperature in degree Fahrenheit, temperature in degree Celsius. Okay. This is, it will be like this, graph will be like this. This is 32 degree, this is 212 degree, and this is 0 degree Celsius. This is 100 degree Celsius. when you plot the graph of temperature in degree Fahrenheit versus temperature in degree Celsius, you will get the curve like this. It's a straight line having a positive slope. See, therefore, between this there are 180 divisions. Between this there are 100 divisions. Okay. So therefore, if you calculate the slope, what is the slope? Opposite side by adjacent side. Slope is equal to, if I take this as ABC, this is equal to BC by AC. BC, how much difference? 180. And this is AC is 100. 9 by 5. Therefore, slope is 9 by 5. If you plot temperature in degree Celsius along y-axis, temperature in Fahrenheit along x-axis, you will get the slope 5 by 9. Have you got it? Okay. See, now let me explain at what temperature Celsius and Fahrenheit scale coincides. At what temperature Celsius and Fahrenheit scale coincides. I want to determine at what particular temperature they will coincide. Okay, let me take this equation. Tc minus 0, 100 minus 0 is equal to Tf minus 32 by 212 minus 32. Let me simplify this. Tc minus 100 divided by Tc by 100 is equal to Tf minus 32 divided by 180, or Tc is equal to 5 by 9 Tf minus 32. Okay, let Tc is equal to Tf is equal to x. Say I take it as x. At x temperature, they are having both same temperature. X is equal to 5 by 9 x minus 32. Now you please simplify this. 9x is equal to 5x minus see, therefore, what you are going to get, 4x is equal to minus 160, or x is equal to minus 40 degree. See, therefore at minus 40 degree, Celsius coincides with Fahrenheit scale. Celsius coincides with Fahrenheit. That's how you can calculate this. Similarly, you can find out at what particular temperature Kelvin and Fahrenheit scale coincides. Okay, all these things you please calculate.